Hello everyone, welcome back to our casual coverage here of the H Cup. It's IG versus Vici Gaming. IG lead 1-0. GoDz from Beyond the Summit. Swindles might be joining me a bit later. I'm trying to figure out what's going on there. The game already started. I didn't have time to give him a lobby password, so unfortunately he couldn't hop himself into this game. And it's kind of like, do I cast from the lobby? Let me see what we can do. I'm not sure. The problem is we want to give Dota TV casting. All right. It looks like unfortunately he won't be able to make it. I'm just gonna message him quickly. So yeah, unfortunately for Swindles, he was just looking to hop in and cast a game or two here, but he didn't make it in on time. Well, by saying didn't make it in on time, I didn't give him a password in time, so not at all on him. I just saw his message a couple minutes ago. But Vici Gaming versus IG coming up now. We've got IG leading 1-0, going for kind of a similar start to their draft. No Lone Druid this time. It's the Beastmaster again, the Invoker. I say similar just because I feel Invoker, as far as timings go, can kind of hit a similar timing to what the Lone Druid does. The Exiled Invoker with the Forward Spirits. And we're going to see what comes out from these teams. If you guys want to check out some of the other H Cup games, there's like 10 games on at once right now. It's something absurd and ridiculous. There's like the way this works is there's 4 groups of 6 teams in each group, I believe. It's changed since the past seasons because they've added more teams, like all the Tier 1 teams are playing now. So this is IG in Group B. So it's IG, Vici Gaming, Energy Pacemaker, B-Hat, and C-Deck Avengers. You've got teams like eHome, CDC, LGD, Newbie playing in the other groups. So definitely looking forward to seeing some of the newly reshuffled rosters here in the Chinese Dota scene. But right now, IG leading 1-0. New Vici Gaming squad, not looking too hot. And it's not just here in this best of 3. It's been in their other series. I mean, it's too soon to judge, so we can't just be like, oh, this team's a flop, they're not going to be any good. But it's been lackluster. And this is like, you've got a captain in RTK, you've got skilled core players in CTY and Burning. Right now, it's just things aren't working for them, so they need to find out what they want to be doing, and they need to find out pretty soon because there's not much time before the majors start happening. There's a lot of time still before TI, which is obviously the big event coming up. But I mean, something kind of talk about Swindle saying talked about, like you've got to get your shit together. Just in the next 6 months, there's like $20 million up for grabs in prize money. You're looking at $3 million at the major TI, like you're looking at something like $15 million there, and then you look at all the other tournaments going on. Epicenter in Russia, $500,000 prize pool. You've got all your other ESL ones, $250,000 prizes. You've got your Dota pits. You've got your summits. You've got your star ladders. There's prize money all over the place. And when you just consider that over the course of 6 months, there's like $20 million of prize money up for grabs, you got to be serious and not to. I mean, not to say Vici Gaming, they're serious, but you got to try and figure out and solve your problems as soon as possible. So we're gonna see what the plan's going to be here for these two teams. IG with Rong, the support player, and the drafting seat, RTK on the Vici Gaming side, pulling out what he can do, and it's going to be another early PL pick for Vici Gaming. Last round I believe it was the second stage. We've seen this used in the mid lane against Invoker, and while it was used as a safe lane farmer last game, when I see it this time around, I'm thinking this is going to be mid against Invoker. I mean, pretty much any time I see PL picked up after an Invoker, I'm thinking, okay, PL's going mid. It's not like a hard counter that just smashes Invoker in lane, but it's definitely good against the Invoker, and it sets a tempo that the Invoker, even more so the Exo Invoker, struggles to deal with. The Exo Invoker even more vulnerable to pressure and those ganks, and it's not just a PL mid, it's going to be a roaming bounty hunter. So if you're IG, you're thinking, okay, how do we keep this Invoker protected, alive? What kind of support options are there that can sit behind him to keep this bounty hunter away? What do we use to keep tabs of the bounty hunter? Do we want to, in the past you get something like a Spirit Breaker, like you just run around, anytime you see the bounty hunter you charge him, you have dust on yourself, but Spirit Breaker no longer really that great viable pick anymore. Also not particularly good against the PL. You can always doppelganger, dodge your charge, get away from any ganks. So it's generally not looked at as the best hero to play in the current metagame. IG for now pick up the Oracle. This to me is more likely their kind of safe lane support. There's a bit of Oracle lately against Bounty, and the Purge does get rid of track, one of the nice things. That purge gets a pretty low cooldown as you level it up. Yeah, 6-second cooldown at level 4 is a pretty heavy mana cost, so it's not easy to sustain necessarily. But the other thing I like about Oracle against Bounty is just he's a pretty tanky support in the sense that he has decent base stats, okay base armor. Like, he doesn't... It's not like you're a CM with terrible movement speed, terrible stats, and you Bounty Hunter finds you and you're dead. You've lost, like, or even at level 1 you've lost half of your HP. So I've seen the Oracle work pretty well in general against the Bounty Hunter. Whoa, another Winter Wyvern. Vici Gaming really putting faith in the Wyvern pick and using it as kind of the D pusher in some ways. I mean, last game, ultimately, I don't feel like their flaw came down to having a lack of anti-push. Yeah, they got pushed down, their high ground broken at like 25 minutes in, but it was because they were just so far behind on items. They lost at every other stage of the game. They couldn't pull together their team fights. So we'll see if they go for that approach again with the Phoenix, but I very much expect Vici Gaming to kind of head a different direction, try something a bit new, different here in game number 2. And IG pull out Clinks QD. I've seen him play this a few times on the Invictus Gaming Vitality squad, so very much a comfort pick for him. I mean, speaking of comfort picks, we've got Ferrari 430 playing his signature Invoker. This guy was probably one of the OG Invoker players. If you go back to early TI2, you go back to Dota 1, this guy was the Invoker player. So he has been playing Invoker since before probably some of our viewers were born, let's just say. And Vici Gaming going to respond now with a lone druid pick of their own, and I wonder if this is going to be a burning pickup or an ROTK one. I feel like it could be a hero destined towards that safe lane. Just doesn't seem to me, and yeah, ROTK's been doing a lot of the Iron Talon jungling, but he's been doing it on teamfight specialists. He's been playing the Phoenix, the Darkseer, the Tidehunter. I'm much more inclined to believe that he's going to be playing that big kind of initiating type role, and you put someone like CTY mid on PL burning onto the lone druid. Seems IG at least thinks somewhat similarly. They ban out Doom, an offlaner, not like a huge teamfight presence, but is that kind of tanky initiator that ROTK can definitely pull out. So we'll see what Vici Gaming's going to do next. I'm curious to see what the odds were. I feel like this is one of those games where if I was going to be, I would have actually predicted IG to win this series. Like, obviously, I'm saying it now, they're up 1-0. Hey, they may still go on to lose this series, but I feel like a lot of people probably thought Vici Gaming would be favored coming in. I think more realistically, it was probably like a 50, closer to 50-50 series. Okay, so Dota 2 Lounge has this at 62% Vici. So yeah, I mean, you look at the roster of the players, I think there's going to be some immediate, not even just bias, but it's the fact, hey, you've got 3 big names: ROTK, TI runner-up, and captain. You've got CTY, who's like a phenomenal star player, burning, same thing. And on IG, you've got Ferrari 430. Who else is on this team? I mean, for your everyday viewer and fan, I'm definitely not surprised to see those odds, but I think realistically this was much closer to a 50-50, and I would have even given a slight edge to IG just because they've got that stable roster. Again, for those of you just tuning in, I say stable roster in the sense that this is pretty much the IG Vitality team that got boosted up to be the IG main team and had their mid player changed to Ferrari 430. So in that sense, it's pretty much like a team that's been stable, just upgrading one of their players. So it's not to me a team that reshuffled. You look at Vici, this is a team that reshuffled. They grab Burning. Well, yeah, they kept Burning. They pull in RTK. They pull in CTY from eHome. They pulled in players from like 3-4 different teams. I'm not sure if HYM and JDH came from the same team, but you're pulling in players from all over the place and putting them together. Yeah, RTK Burning, they played a lot together in the past, but have not been playing together as of late until this team was formed. So
10 seconds remaining.
Phoenix for IG going to be played in that 4th position role, I believe, with the Beastmaster already there. So this is going to be probably in the hands of Baboka, I want to say, the Earth Spirit from last game. And Night Stalker comes out. Vici Gaming going to be handing that one over to ROTK. There's your Iron Talon jungler. It's the ROTK way. And on the side of IG, yeah, Baboka picks up the Phoenix, 430 on Invoker. Kind of, and then to me, this is the big player hero to look out for, the Clinks of QD. I'm a big fan of just seeing Clinks in general and what he brings to the table. Always very, very fast tempo. Here that can... It's kind of similar but different to what the gyrocopter was at TI. Like, well, I mean, not even just at TI in general. Like, you hit level 6 and then you're just so good and effective at TPing to another lane and roaming. But I think Clinkz is even more effective at finding those kills. Less team fights, but more solo pickoffs because of just his single target burst damage combined with his mobility. This is what the Skeleton Walk provides. And that's going to be something that IG have to be ready for. So we'll hop ourselves into game number 2. It is a best of 3. The way this works is you're just trying to rack up as many wins as possible. Only one team from each group goes through the playoffs. So it's really a very brutal format when you're in 4 groups, each with 6 teams, and only one of them advances. Makes life very, very difficult. Nice little cheeky ward coming out of the mid lane. Typically, it's not easy to ward in a spot like that because... there's so much radiant vision provided by that mid tier 1 tower, but Wrong will come in. Didn't actually see JDH. It's JDH spotting him out, and he's got all the wards here, so best case scenario for JDH is trying to find out where the Oracle is going to drop those wards in. Well, we got ping. I think JDH, he shadow walked a bit too close, so he's been spotted, or at least like you hear that little invis sound maybe. At least pings came out. Not entirely sure what the happenings were there, and oh my gosh, QD Gloves of Haste. This is not your everyday Clinkz build. I played a lot of Clinkz games, and I feel like I've never done this Clinkz build, and I'm really curious to watch. I feel like it's almost like anticipating ROTK just to go Iron Talon and jungle level 1, and he's like, let's go super greedy and rush Midas, because ROTK is not even going to come to lane, but ROTK has got lane items. He's gone Stout, Shield, Tango, Sal, Mango. He wants to actually pressure this lane, so it's going to come down to Oracle as well as Phoenix to help out the Clinkz in lane, because he's not got the build that's really that suited for the lane. And then also on top of that, Night Stalker getting himself a bounty rune. Sunstrike though, first blood, ROTK. Another day, another dollar, another ROTK first blood, and well, gets himself the bounty rune. So ultimately, I feel like an acceptable exchange for him. We're going to be a perfect world lag here, guys. Hopefully that's going to negate itself as kind of time goes on. Central ward at mid lane. JDH finds that one. Should get the Tango. Actually, no, it's going to be the PL. Tangoing out, and that means Oracle going to just be kind of sitting towards this mid lane. So if this does continue, guys, we'll reconnect and make sure we can get rid of some of this Kale. Phoenix up top. So this is basically... I think it's important that ROTK is in this lane, because you look at what IG has to do, and that's going to be committing a support to this mid lane. They need to keep a support around the Invoker. Because it's an Exo Invoker against a PL Bounty Hunter, he's going to have a tough time. And that means there's only one support to zone Night Stalker, and Phoenix not really the best at doing that necessarily. Clinkz with the Gloves of Haste, a very greedy build here, so this is very much a lane where ROTK should be able to get a decent amount of farm experience and also deny farm from the IG side. We'll reconnect now if not too much is happening. How does that sound, guys? Let's hopefully not miss first blood. We'll quickly pop ourselves out and back in. And see what happens. Alright, we're back. And so far, looking okay. So, yeah, Night Stalker already level 3 in lane. In the off lane for IG. Similar story for XX. He's gonna hit level 3 himself. So, when we talk about how Night Stalker in lane, Beastmaster in a similar position. You've got a Bounty Hunter who's focusing his efforts towards mid. Even Winter Wyvern's actually. I mean, Winter Wyvern, if you're not going to be able to fully like zone or really bully the Beastmaster, you can find those opportunities elsewhere. And it seems like he's even considering a courier snipe in a position like this. No, he's going to swoop on over, ready to make a move towards that mid lane. This Winter Wyvern's been missing a long time. I'm curious to see what 430's move is going to be. He's actually backing off to meet the courier. This very much says he knows Wyvern's missing from the map. He's there's a very common like little spot you can pop out here to go in for the courier snipe. You can kind of tuck yourself away in here. We saw him tuck himself in this spot here. There's a lot of hiding spots around this mid lane which you can use to go for those sneaky courier snipe plays. And 430 making the play to walk back to avoid the courier snipe, but it was actually Wyvern looking for the kill more than anything. Love to have gotten a kill on the 430 Invoker at mid. See some people asking in the chat. There's other games going on. LGD are taking on eHome King. You can check it out on BTS2. Lyrical is casting over there. Twitch.tv/BeyondTheSummit2. So there's a lot of games going on right now. H Cup. And if there's, you want to check out some of the other games going on, I believe like CDC are playing, some of the other youth teams are playing. eHome, I think, like the eHome Classic Squad has a game, I think against Duo Bao. All those games you can check out in Dota TV as well. They're all on the H Cup ticket. I don't know if it's free or not. It might be. It might have to pay like $1 or $2. But they're all in Dota TV. So if there's a game on that is not being casted because there's like 6 games on at once, check out Dota TV. Pick up the ticket if you want to support the tournament, or maybe the ticket's free. Not entirely sure. But we're just doing some fun casual casting here, and this is also for me interesting because with some of these lands coming up, like Starlight is coming up, ESL1 Manila's coming up, I'm very curious to see how these rosters look, and also just to kind of learn their playstyles if things have changed since these roster reshuffles, since obviously I'll be at some of those lands casting these teams. I don't want to be completely clueless and incompetent. But alright, ticket is free. Nice. Alright. Thanks MRP. Thank you. So yeah, if you guys want to hop into Dota TV, you can watch any of those other games. You can hop in and cast them, of course, as well. If you see that there's people who want to watch and listen to them, so it's completely open, and you guys can do as you please. So, Invoker ditching mid lane. I wouldn't say it's a bad sign, but that's like the nature of this PL in mid with a DD rune too. CTY, like, he can actually just straight up solo kill an Invoker. This is the SCA meta coming into play. SCA meta has taken over the Dota scene. Nice rotation top. They bring Dust, they take out Clinks, and one of the big weak points of Clinks is that laning stage. But he picked up the Midas though. 5-minute Midas. He bought it before he goes down, so not quite the clutch timing gank they were hoping for. If he doesn't get that Midas and they slow it down by like 1.5 minutes or 2 minutes, that you're looking really good. But he does pick it up, so he can immediately skeleton walk and probably head to one of these 2 big camps. That'll get him closer to that quick level 6. And yeah, I think it's one of the very, like, you look at this Invoker, like Invoker's expecting to see a lot of pressure come his way. He recognizes that, hey, there's a PL mid, a roaming bounty, a roaming wyvern. I'm going to get ganked, so let's fall back to the jungle. And for Vici Gaming, like, you're already slowing down the Invoker's farm just because he's playing scared. But the one here who wasn't playing scared was QD. He's thinking, okay, they're pressuring mid, I'm fine, I'm going to keep farming top. But what ends up happening is a Night Stalker rotation. QD walks into ROTK, and perhaps now known to ROTK is that they didn't actually shut him down to the point where he's not got his Midas. But QD still needing that level 6, and needing like more than that. He wants his treads, his Soul Ring, his Aquila even potentially, whatever items, like small basic fighting items he can get to take some fights here. IG, Ferrari, 430, the ganks, they start top, now they move mid. They bring in Night Stalker, and ROTK getting a lot out of this first nighttime. PL gets himself a double kill, and he's not done. He's looking for a third here. Another lance coming out, and wrong. Gets CT wide. There's a triple kill, 6.5 minutes into the game. Dust gets left for ROTK to pick up, and that was such like a good timing to go in. It's nighttime. ROTK's just got his earned now, so he's starting to rack up some charges to use aggressively, as well as just to help sustain himself in lane. And CTY is suddenly in a great position. He's going to have boots of travel in no time at all. Looks like they want this Clinks, and suddenly Clinks can't really farm all too well. This Night Stalker last pick really kicking in, and you can see really the merits of the hero right now. Cutie's like, yes, need a death pack. He's worried about the Night Stalker like swinging in from the side. Doesn't look like RTK wants to go for it. With the death packed HP out, that puts him at 1100 HP. These two heroes would struggle to bring him down. Not to mention Sunray, that percent-based healing. Really going to allow QD to probably stay alive and sustain himself here. I see a lot as far as Clinks builds go. I don't think I don't think you need that 4th point in Searing Arrows anymore. I think very much the Skeleton Walk is much more valuable. It scales a lot better. as far as duration and more importantly the movement speed. If you're getting dusted up, if you're getting slowed by the Night Stalker and all that, you want to have the biggest possible movement speed boost. So I think he needs to really transition into a build where he's going to be maxing Skeleton Walk as soon as possible. I've even seen games where like Envy on the Clinks would stop at 2 Searing Arrows and then start moving Skeleton Walk. Very much, this is one of those games to me where the Skeleton Walk is much more valuable. Burning, minus of his own, so I mean, we're talking about how fast Clinks' minuses was. I don't know when exactly Burning picked his up, but he's also got some basic brown boots among other items. Beastmaster level 6, so Raw now a threat, and that's something which I feel needs to make its presence known around this middle lane. Smoke is being picked up for Oracle, but it's still back at base, so they can't use it now. But that's kind of like the general maybe idea for IG, is to find a way to counterplay this mid lane, or even just to be the ones getting the jump, going aggressive, because you've got two heroes in Invoker and Clinks, both very vulnerable to these ganks. Clinks can't really rely on his Skeleton Walk as an escape because of the dust, and here we go. Night Stalker comes in, he needs to get this death backed up, but he doesn't do so in time. The Shockwave, not cool. For a second I thought it'd taken the kill. If he gets that death packed off, probably still dies. Even with the boost of HP, ROTK would have had another nuke, had her own charges, but the silence meant that he couldn't even get it off, and Clink's actually dead during his Midas downtime. Oh, sorry, well, not during his Midas downtime, which means he's missing out on some extra value from that. Burning, just pushing down this bottom lane. That is, I feel like this Spirit Bear has been, he's been juicing. He looks a lot bigger than most bears should. Somebody needs to... some PED testing going on. QD immediately TPing back in towards the mid lane. Midas and Death back. It's really a struggle, because heroes like Clinks and Invoker want to kind of run it, like be independent as far as their farm goes, and even like when they're trying to maybe find a kill. Like Clinks doesn't want to have to smoke with his team, for example. Same for the Invoker. Invoker wants to sit in the lane or sit in the jungle, farm, throw Sunstrikes. Clinks, he wants to farm with his Midas, his Death back in the jungle, and then go for solo pickoffs, but that plays into Vici Gaming's hands. That's what we're seeing here. We're seeing Vici Gaming find pickoff after pickoff. It's another one. This time we don't see it. It's going to be JDH getting his level 6, getting his Arcane Boots. And Vici Gaming up now 6 kills to 1. And this is reflected in the overall net worth of some of these players currently. A Raw coming in the top lane. ROTK. There's the Sunstrike Sunray. Straightforward kill onto ROTK. Finally bring the Beastmaster Raw into play, and that's what needs to happen. I've got to keep going, like using this Beastmaster Raw is like the kind of playmaking tool they have, and it feels like that's how they can kind of enable the Sunstrikes to come in. But the Clinks maybe needs to stop going off alone, because it's going to just be a case where unless this Beastmaster Phoenix Oracle can really get things done and create a ton of space, this Clinks off being alone is just going to be not accomplishing a whole lot. He's unlikely to find pickoffs. He's more likely to go down, and he's going to... I feel like he's going to get just as much farm from just being involved in some of these kills. But for now, ROTK bottom lane. It looks like Midas Gaming. This like goes back a few patches. There was a patch, like I remember, like we had Misery playing CM. He's buying Midases. There's like 6 Midases going on in the game. And are we back there? Is that a thing? We've got 4 Midases, I believe. 2 on IG, and then with the Bear as well as RTK picking one up, I think we're looking at 4 Midases. Not support Midases, they're cool Midases, and oh, QD runs into Winter Wyvern. As much as I talked up QD's Clinks, very hard to play Clinks into Winter Wyvern. Night Stalker also a pretty tough hero to play against. The mischance from Crippling Fear is pretty damn annoying too. So this is a very difficult Clinks game based on the Radiant draft. Lone Druid does pretty well against the Clinks in general. At least he's tanky. It's not like an easy prey for the Clinks ganks. And another Raw coming out. RTK's being found once more. Can they bring him down in time? You betcha, with the Sunstrike. They've got the damage they need. Gonna look for a second follow-up kill. The Cold Snap with the dust onto JDH. He's trying to tuck himself away in the trees, but MG showing some signs of life here. PL not in the neighborhood. Not sure if he TP top or tried to TP bottom, had it cancelled, but he's sitting in the top lane. Not where he can help out in that bottom lane kerfuffle. This is like you're going to continue. This could swing back the way of Vici Gaming, though. It's nighttime. Both Bounty and Nightstalker are about to respawn. There is still a tier 1 tower here to TP to. Importantly, the Hawks scout out this TP spot. This is the spot you want to TP to, and now they're going to go in with a Supernova before ROTK can even get here. He's still running in, but it's going to be too late for Burning as well as HYM. I don't think they're going to get a chance to fight this one. The Supernova is perfect. Where were those Supernovas last game? I'm sure Vici Gaming's saying, that's a spell we didn't know existed. ROTK? You didn't tell us you had this spell last game. What's going on here? And RTK now going to get chased down. Tries to turn and go for Baboka. It looks like he should be able to get the kill with the earn damage, but pays for it with his own life. I think recognizing he was going to go down regardless. And just great execution from IG. One of the things I've seen, like you see so often, is that this tree patch here allows you to defend this town by TPing in multiple heroes. You TP in these heroes into fog, and then you catch IG by surprise. At most towers, like, you see a TP in, and you're going to know those heroes are there to defend. There's like a few spots like right over this tree patch where you can TP, but the trees sometimes collapse, and when you're pushing the tower, you see those TPs. This bottom tier 1 tower is like, it's like a death trap sometimes. Like, you can just TP in 3 heroes, and then you're not penalized or crippled by the fact that that second and third TP take that extra duration, but IG, as soon as they see one TP, they jump. They're like, okay, this one TP is, let's pick him off before the next TP comes in, before the PL TP comes in, before the Nightstalker rotation comes. They were just so fast to act that Vici Gaming weren't ready to respond. Vici Gaming was still setting up for their defense when IG were getting their first kill or two. So, really nicely played. And IG, whoop, they're not done. Find another kill. RTK, he's on the feed train. He started off so well, and now it's just back-to-back-to-back deaths. Ferrari's suddenly got drums, Midas. And into the Roshan pit they go. It looks like it's nighttime, but there's no Nightstalker to worry about. All we've got to do is drop down a sentry. Yep, they've got detection for the Bounty Hunter, and things get difficult now. The Sunray provides some easy sustain. Bounty Hunter's going to poke his nose around, but he's obviously should be very wary of the fact... Korea, I'll get that one. Should be very aware of the fact that any Roche attempt is going to be done with sentries. And CTY, I mean, you look at him, he's 3-0, 100 CS, you're thinking he's having a great game, and he is to a large extent, but all those 3 kills came in that one fight. He has not been in any engagements, any fights since then. He's been prioritizing his farm, and that's not necessarily his own mistake. I think it's very much like a team decision where he's like, okay, his team took fights when he like TP'd top lane, for example, or he was farming top lane. So the team coordination is what's off more than anything. Whether it's ROTK wanting to fight and CTY wanting to farm, there just doesn't seem to be a cohesive game plan coming out of Vici Gaming. Top tier 2 tower now. Target for the Spirit Bear, and that Phoenix Sunray doing work. Helps set up for the kill that the Oracle gets on the Spirit Bear. And there's no resummon here. Burning for 40 seconds can't actually bring this Spirit Bear back to life. Lynx is chasing. Treads Maelstrom pickup. Wow. Maelstrom, I guess the answer to the Cold Embrace. You can actually do damage through it using the magic damage. You push lanes faster with this build. Good against the PL illusions. This is... I'm feeling inspired. I just want to like go and play some clinks now. Be like, alright, let's do this. New builds. Seeing new builds in competitive play on like a hero that you really enjoy or that you play a lot of is always really exciting for me. I'm always like, why didn't I think of something like this being viable? Obviously, it's very much the situation against the PL, but I feel like 90% of Clinxes are just like, oh, you always go Deso first. Like that's what this hero does. You rush Deso. Like that's how this hero is played. It used to be like the Orchid, but nowadays it's like always, yep, into Deso. Sometimes you'll see a BKB first. I've seen Burning on Clinx just rush BKB if he's having a rough game or under a lot of pressure. Blink Raw. ROTK was not ready for that one. I think the Blink perhaps being revealed there, and ROTK going to go down without getting any spells off. The Spirit Bear in the front lane's trying to bring down Ferrari, but he's got the Aegis. Supernova goes in. Can they bring it down? They pop the drums. They will focus it down. Now they want 430 maybe a second time. They track him up the Ice Wall. Nicely used with the Winter's Curse on a QD. Wrong's going to be attacking him, and 430 goes down. He has no backup because of the Curse. Basically disabling 2 heroes. And Wrong's TP out. Oh no, he's not his TP out. He's going to be false promising himself. He couldn't actually use it on 430 as he'd like to. Gonna see a fantastic team fight coming out from Vici Gaming. There's the execution that's been lacking from their side. IG just had to throw a little bit too much to kill off RTK there. And the Supernova, I don't know if, I mean, it's level 2 Fire Spirits only. And there was a drum, yeah, PL popped the drums and everyone's just like, okay, let's attack the egg. That was pretty much what it came down to there. And also, the other thing for a PL is you can doppelganger off the Fire Spirits, so, I mean, PL alone can pretty much kill a level 1 Supernova egg with the drums that he's got, so, and it wasn't a PL alone, there were 3 heroes on that egg. Perhaps needs to try and use that egg, I mean, obviously wants to ideally use that egg around some of their disables like the Raw. PL comes in bottom, finds a solo kill onto Beastmaster, and Vici Gaming taking back some control here. And again, similar to last game, it's very much around that Radiance timing on the Spirit Bear. It's such a boost in what this hero can do. The overall, it's not even like just the damage output, it's like cancelling all those blink daggers, the mischance for heroes like Clinks, for Invoker, for Forward Spirits, all that physical damage output getting reduced. RTK. Cold Snap with the Sunray, he's going to get chased down. Burnt to a crisp, and we'll see IG pick up how many, wow, 7 of the 11 deaths on the Vici side, unfortunately in RTK's hands. Let's see what QG's thinking here, whether this is going to be a BKB or the Desolator, less the item or what's happening to him. It's going to be a gank coming his way. He gets taken out, but the counterplay is there. The Raw into Sunray Meteor. They're trying to bring down Burning. He's getting very low. He will end up going down to the Sunray. Now the retreat from 430. I think he may consider turning around if he thinks he has a chance to fight into CTY, but this is a full HP Phantom Lancer still. A 4-for-1 trade. And no opportunity to kind of go back in. It was actually probably too low in mana to do all too much here. And they bring down Burning, but they've lost 4 to do so. And CTY is actually positioned on the high ground all of a sudden. Going forward, takes out the Forward Spirits. Can actually get some good damage onto this tier 3 tower. Not sure if it'll be how what it takes to bring it down, especially with the glyph here. Probably going to see a retreat coming out fairly soon. Forward Spirits will be resummoned at 430, trying to just complete that Aghanim Scepter now. And IG are going to... It's not so much that they lack damage output. Like, you've got a Clinks, you've got an Invoker. But it's more... These are heroes that can be very easily controlled. You've got no BKB on Clinks. The Invoker's... I mean, he's still not that scary late game Invoker just yet. And Beastmaster going for this utility Blink means they don't have that extra bit of boost in damage from a Necrobook that you'd normally expect. Just means that Beastmaster's less of a threat. He's very reliant on Invoker or Clinks being there to actually get kills using Raw. In the earliest stage of the game, it could just be that kind of global Sunstrike that was enough. Like, that was how IG started to have a good mid-game, was when they just had the Sunstrikes flying around with the Beastmaster Raw. But now we're at that point where Sunstrike may not be enough, and you need the Invoker actually there for the Forward Spirits, the Cold Snap, the Meteor, the Sunstrikes, everything else that goes with it. And Phoenix close to level up. If he had level 11 Ultimate in that top lane, could have been a different story. I think there may have been enough heroes on his egg that it would have gone down regardless, but... The Boka, Arcane Rune. And he gets silenced up, but there's no follow-up. It looks like the decision was to go elsewhere. XXS. They go for the TP out. It's going to get cancelled by the Raw, and they're going to lose, looks like 2 now as a result. Oracle and Beastmaster. Both taken out. The Phoenix was silenced by RTK, and the team initiate on the other heroes as that happened, so... IG, give a couple more kills to Vici Gaming here. QD will be the BKB pickup now coming out with the Maelstrom, but his farm and item progression not quite up there with the PLs or the Lone Druids, and that's just like by nature this boots a travel PL. And I mean, the fact that the PL is actually 10-0, hasn't died, has been in most of these kills. I mean, you'd expect the PL to be more fun than the 3-4 clinks. It's going to be 4 stacks. BKB now, he just picked it up. He's trying to get the bounty hunter. I'm not sure he's going to be able to do so. The track coming out as well, and QD put onto the back foot, now gets cursed up. It's going to be next to wrong on the Oracle. That's a little bit of damage. He gets for another death pack on the side. It's Phoenix going down. PL picking that one up. Night Stalker. Look to rotate in from the south, but burning as well. Also not at that fight, but I mean, Vici Gaming's taking clashes like that. Well, not even utilizing their Night Stalker or their Lone Druid. Their Lone Druid who is just about to pick up his Assault Cuirass, so... Once Vici Gaming get Gem and Aghanim Scepter up on ROTK, life gets very difficult for IG when the vision control is there. ROTK just goes charging in. Is he going to pay for this one? You betcha. The Cold Embrace not going to keep him alive, and it's just an Oracle, a tracked Oracle, I believe, but still perhaps not the exchange he was hoping for. Oh, one more right click would be needed for that Spirit Bear. Maybe see a resummon regardless, but I think Burning would rather send it back home, and yeah, he'll do just that. He'll TP it home and then look to return it back into this fight, so he still has the 2 bears. Eagerly awaiting a Roshan possibly on the Vici Gaming side. PL now, Diffusal, Manta. A lot of farm on this Phantom Lancer. And for QD, he's just going to struggle because Vici Gaming are going to continue to kind of group up, play around their vision advantage, not give him opportunities to just find any pickoffs to even farm. We're seeing constant ganks go his way. And Klink's just not a hero that fights well into 5-man, and even more so when there's heroes that just can kind of directly counter him. You've got Cold Embrace. I was going to mention, like, you go on one hero. This Maelstrom is not really that much of a counter to the Cold Embrace. It means you can do a little bit of damage through the Lightning procs in Cold Embrace, but it's not going to get you kills. It's much more an item picked up for the PL and the PL Illusions. Bounty now buying the gem for his Night Stalker friend, I can only imagine. Probably going to see this in the Night Stalker's hands with the Aghanim Scepter, just a better hero to carry that gem on. And Vici Gaming are probably poised to take this next Roshan with the vision that this Aghanim is going to provide. It just hit daytime now though, so pretty long daytime ahead. Another couple of minutes at least. Yeah, 2 minutes and 10 seconds of this, so some of that can be reduced by the Night Stalker ultimate if you wanted to preemptively cast it during the daytime. So it should just be like a minute and a half a day that IG can work around, and that's why they're smoking up now. They're trying to see what they can find. Fortunately for them, they don't find all too much. They see that their jungle's been completely cleared out, and now it may be time to head towards the Roshan pit. The Invis room picked up by Beastmaster, but the gem is already ready and prepped. And into Roshan Vici go. Considering it's daytime, this is like as good a chance as any, it feels almost, to try and contest this one. Night Stalker will, of course, be looking to pop the ultimate should he need to do so, and he's going to do so preemptively and go charging forward. He doesn't actually have the gem on the Night Stalker. I believe it's, yeah, it's still on the Bounty Hunter. RTA, okay, now he gets past it. So Bounty hands it over. XXS, TP's in, look for the Roar, won't find it right away. Now the Savage Roar, great play from Burning. Prevents the Beastmaster Roar from coming out. The Supernova on the high ground. ROTK thinks he's got it. Has he got it? I don't think they do. Diogo's charging forward. That Supernova stun going to catch out everyone. Now the Winter's Curse. That's a good curse on a QD who's now lost his entire mana pool. Will BKB up, but hasn't really got much in the way of damage to come out here. The False Promise is there. I think QD may actually be okay here with the heals. It's going to be close. The right-click damage. He gets low. He gets 15 HP. He survives. And now Ferrari getting healed up as well by the Sunray. The track is there. The Shuriken bouncing on through will finish him off. But the PL killed the big one. That was a beyond godlike streak being ended. Damage not done just yet as Vici Gaming say, you kill our PL, we're going to kill all of you. Lone Druid. Burning. Continuing where he left off with a couple more kills, and where does the gem end up? It's in the hands of the Bounty Hunter. So ROTK drops it, then recovered by JDH. Pretty, whoa, very big swing. That's track gold for you. I was about to say, a 2-for-3 trade when you're behind should be like an even gold exchange. But because of the track, you look at Bounty Hunting getting 6 tracks off in that fight, gaining 1,500 gold. Trax mean Vici Gaming can kind of just trade kills and come out on top. Ooh, they're getting a little antsy here. They're not looking to go for this. I believe they're waiting for the PL respawn so PL can take the Aegis. At least that's the way it seems. They're like, hey, just don't kill Roche yet. Let's PL TP them back. Yeah, so PL's going to TP in. He's going to take the Aegis. And they're going to use this to get aggressive. PL's the only one to get up in IG's face, fight into them, and this is likely going to be a high ground attempt coming out of the Vici Gaming side. RTK getting all the scouting information he can. He should be able to de-ward. Yeah, he's got the Quelling Blade, so easy pickings on those wards, and just any vision for IG that they can hope to get is going to have to come from the Beastmaster. But even the Beastmaster, you can easily find those hogs. He gets jumped on, speaking of which. Needs to get back to Fountain here. He's instantly out of mana, which means there's no threat of a roar right now, and they need that threat, because this tower going down and going down fast. PL's just keeping heroes at bay, back near the tier 4 as the Greaves will be popped on the side of Vici Gaming. The cooldown not so much a concern here, it just helps sustain their push. And Ice Wall Sunray, they take out the bear once though. The high ground defense with Sunray against the Spirit Bear. Definitely something that IG can look to utilize to try and hold on to their racks here. But they will be truly tested. That's Sunray. Gotta sometimes protect that cooldown. The bear does get pulled back. Melee racks brought down to about half HP. There's no glyph here as well, so we may just see them able to finish this melee racks on the next creep wave. Spirit Bear comes back and just needs to get that bear onto the high ground. They've got to use like the Ice Wall Cold Snap. I think we may actually see 430 just try and combo up that Spirit Bear this time around. If it puts itself on this melee racks, I think this melee racks is also just straight up dead regardless of what happens. Whoa, is he going for the Blink Roar on the bear? That was interesting. Cold Embrace, Media, they're going in, they're coming for the Spirit Bear, they're treating it as if it's a hero, and it basically is at this stage of the game, but they've already lost the Beastmaster again. Beastmaster going down, unable to get off a roar, and this Sunray, not the most effective one. And with a creep wave about to arrive, Sunray on cooldown. It's a very short cooldown, but that should be enough to secure this melee racks. Vici Gaming, very, very disciplined in their high ground push here. Take out the mid lane of racks and back off, still with Aegis in hand. CTY, probably letting his team know, like, we can continue this, we can go for another lane. Let's get to work in bottom and top somewhere else. Oh, what a Winter's Curse. Finds 430 here in the mid lane. He gets false promised up, but that's as the Oracle goes down, and 430 going to take a bit of... Oh no, he BKBs. Gets far enough back here, but nope, he will die. Yeah, the false promise. I was about to say, I'm like, that BKB is not going to stop that damage coming your way. The Winter's Curse was just perfect coming out of Wyvern. The full staff initiation, and that may just be close to GG. They're going to at least have to use some buybacks here if they want to defend this Rax, and both are going to do so. And his BKB's on cooldown now, and I think that's probably the other thing Vici Gaming is saying, like, yeah, he can buy back, but that oh so important BKB he just picked up can't be utilized. RTK, full stuff, Cold Embrace, it's his team saying like, okay man, we know what you're like RTK, we just get as many defensive items to save you as possible. The entire time that was going on, PL by the way, was back here. He was like chasing heroes well behind the racks, and this is less trying to get kills and more just trying to create space for his team to be able to safely secure the racks using the lone druid, since it's the bear who does the most damage to these buildings. IG now looking like they probably don't really have a good way to hold on to this bottom lane of racks. Still no glyph available, and still an Aegis in CTY's hands, and Beastmaster's just struggled to be able to get into a position where he can find those roars anytime he's gone in. Clinks, similarly, a hero that's struggled to be able to do too much in these fights, in these engagements. RTK gets low. It's the heal purged off, but it's still a very healthy Phantom Lancer and Lone Druid. That's kind of what matters more for Vici Gaming right now. We pop the Greaves and... Alright, end of the push. They won't get another lane of racks here. I believe PL's Aegis... Yeah, timing out. soon at least. They had maybe one more creep wave to go, but if you're on the high ground, like committed to a push and suddenly your Aegis expires, you go down, like that's one of those catastrophic positions to be in. So it looks like they're just not willing to risk it. And also, like current gold, that's always something worth looking at after a high ground, successful high ground push. A lot of it. BKB picked up for burning. PL's going to have a heart. I was about to say PL had a lot more, but he just spent some of it. So there's big item pickups coming their way. I like the BKB for Spirit Prayer. I think it's like a necessary item against the Sunray. Not even just the Sunray, but like the Cold Snap plays that we were seeing. And Lincoln, Raw, Sunstrike there as well. Should be able to get the kill on the PL. Or will they? Doppelganger out, and CTY gets taken out. Phoenix getting the last hit. Nice recognition by IG of what Vici Gaming were doing during the Aegis downtime. It's that, let's regroup, farm up another item or two. It's not even necessarily about purely waiting for the next Roshan. It's much more just about the, let's fall back, use our courier, and just, you're not going to remain grouped as 5. Like, you've got one hero at the base trying to gather items, you've got another, like, trying to farm another couple hundred gold to finish an item. The PL, I think, was like 400 gold away from his Heart of Terrace, so he was being a bit greedy, going for some extra farm. So, ooh, he's been pinged. They know he's here. 430. Look like he'll find the bounty hunter, but does get the D ward. RTK, 4K gold. I mean, this is, again, like, there's items, big items that likely are going to be coming up soon. Sunstrike. Ooh, not going to land. Guess is wrong on RTK's movements, and also RTK more than healthy enough. Imagine this situation, Vici Gaming just going to be looking to finish a couple items with PL Heart and then just be organized, group up. Don't let Beastmaster find those pickoffs like he did top lane, because we've seen so many times when they group up as 5, Beastmaster tries to blink in to go for that roar. There's like a stun waiting for him, there's a Savage Roar, there's some way to prevent him getting it off, and even when he gets it off, there's the defensive tools, the 4 stuff, the Glimmer Capes, the Blink Winter's Curse. What has RTK picked up? So he's gone for a plate mail for now. See whether it's probably, well, let's say Shiver's or AC or the Lotus Orb is actually another possible pickup here. I think as far as spells, you can echo the Roar, the big one. And even if you're not echoing the Roar, whichever heroes in the front lines can't get roared, because, well, Beastmaster's not going to want to roar them as long as they've got the shield on them. So in some ways it's like a pseudo repel that protects you from certain spells, even when it's not reflecting them. So I think, yeah, Lotus Orb going to get picked up. But as far as other good spells that can help against, you know, some of the Oracle spells you can kind of turn around on him, but not amazing by any means. Nice Ward just going to be used to try and slow things down here, keep the high ground of IG intact for the time being, but the range Rex will be focused down first. Peel Illusions helping clear that out. And Roche has actually respawned. It looks like a very fast Roche respawn. I don't even think it's been scattered up by Vici Gaming just yet. Perhaps not even that interested in going for it. And okay, the courier will do so in a second, so I imagine they'll see it with the courier and probably go back and say, oh, alright, let's do Roche. Why not? Yeah, Burning's seemingly already headed that way. Now it's decision-making time for IG. Do we make our last stand at Roche, or potential last stand at Roche, and if they try and contest it, lose the fight, they lose the game. Because suddenly there's an Aegis Cheese on the Radiant side, you've just lost a fight, and they're going to be pushing your high ground with that Aegis Cheese. Or do you take your last fight? What could be your, again, I say last fight as if it's like, it's a foregone conclusion. They're going to take one last fight, they lose it, and the game's over. Because if they win it, it's definitely not the last fight. They're going to have to win multiple fights in a row. It's like a one lost fight and IG lose kind of situation. And Aegis and Cheese make it a whole lot harder for IG to win that fight. But high ground, defending high ground makes it a lot easier. That's the big thing. If you push out of your base, you're kind of going in blind. And gonna find it not easy to take the kind of fight or get the kind of initiation you'd like to with the Blink Roar. Whoa. That's a desperation pickup. It's one of those things like you see a Mask of Madness pick up on a Clinks, that's not a Clinks item. That's like a, we're screwed, we're about to lose the game, what can I buy for 2,000 gold? Mask of Madness, let's do it. Spirit Bear on the front line, gets the Lotus Orb on him. It's going to be BKB to just focus on the racks. It's the Oracle on the side being taken out by the PL. It looks like nice. Winter's Curse onto 430, going to prevent some of his damage output. And the Beastmaster doing some damage as he walks into it as well. Beastmaster, speaking of which, tracked up on the retreat, trying to get back to the Phantom, but the Blink Lance from CTY will take him out, and CTY into the Fountain we go. He wants 430. He'll get 430. CTY? No. CTY respecting his elders, I guess. Not going for the kill. That was a tracked up Invoker. Perhaps saying, oh, you called GG? Well, you guys throw in the white towel? We'll let you survive. We're not going to shoot the survivors. We'll take prisoners. And 430 gets kept alive in this Fountain. It's game over. We're going to a game 3. Vici Gaming bounce back and show that this is perhaps quite a 50-50 series. I mean, we talked a bit about kind of like how these teams match up, what the odds may be. I personally feel like it's ever so slightly IG favored, but this does feel like a matchup that right now with Vici Gaming's current form is going to be really a toss-up. It could go either way, so it will be a game 3 that we're going to head towards, guys. Vici Gaming versus IG. You're watching H Cup, and we're going to see who's going to, well, this is like one of many group stage get matches. I'm about to say, like, who's going to advance to the next round? Everyone advances to their next match. It's a round robin, 6-team groups, 4 groups of 6, and the winner from each group advances to the playoffs. So obviously, you're going to play every team in your group. There's a ton of matches going on for the next 3 days for the group stages, and then I think there's 3 days of playoffs. So all that action going to be kind of taking place over the next couple of days here on Beyond the Summit, as well as Beyond the Summit 2. Check out BTS 2. I'm not sure if the series there is still going on. I know eHome were taking on, as I say that, I'm pulling it up. eHome were taking on, no, eHome King were taking on LGD. Lyrical was covering that one. It looks like they're in game 2 right now. So if you want to check out game 2 of the new LGD squad, you can do so over there. And we're going to take a break, come back for game number 3, Vici Gaming versus IG. Don't go nowhere, guys.